Hello friends, today I'm going to show you a very beautiful thing that y'all can make out of these kind of empty tape rolls. So basically I am starting with taking a string and I am going to make knots on this empty tape roll. So knots is going to be like this. Just take the string, simple knot like this, one, and then second time, so it's a double knot that you make. See that this is a little tight enough and does not move that easily. Take your time when you do this because it needs to be tight enough and be in place. Then once the knot is done, what we'll do is we'll just cut off the excess of the string. Now this is optional if you want to cut off or leave it longer, but I would prefer that you cut it off so that you can adjust it later. Now I'm going to take approx measurement of 2 lines of my finger. In case if you all are not confident with such kind of markings, you all can use a measuring tape or a scale and mark the amount of distance you all require or the amount of gap you all require at each point. So that's it. I will continue making such kind of knots at each of a gap. Once you have the empty tape roll looking like this with the strings tied on it, so here I have got 6 strings at the gap that I had taken. If you all want, you all can add in more depending on the gaps you all require between each string. Now it's time on the outer side of this tape roll to stick a sheet. So I will be sticking a sheet around the whole tape roll to give it a good look. So once you have spread glue along the length of a paper, now since this paper was not too lengthy, I'm going to take it in 2 parts. So that's it. I will stick it around like this, and the excess of the paper that is there on the top side, I will just cut it like this. However, when you're cutting off the excess portion of paper, please ensure that you do not cut off the back string that is there. So just take your time, be a little careful, and that's it. It will be done in no time. So once you have the outer part of your empty tape roll covered with paper completely, you'll see the difference how it looks. It will look pretty attractive, very neat. Here I'm just cutting off the edges which are still looking a little higher than the roll. So I'm through with covering the full roll with paper. Since I had mentioned it was not enough, so I attached another bit. Now in the inner part also I will be attaching paper. So for that I'm going to just take another paper like this and just hold it through that hole like this. This is just to get an approx measurement of how much I require. Make a simple cut on the edge of the paper at that distance, and then once that's done, you cut it along the edge, the corner that you need to fold the paper on the inner side. So let's finish the cutting of this much portion of the paper. Once you are done cutting, it's time to stick. So I'm almost at the end of my glue, so I need to use my finger to dip it in and spread it on this strip of paper. And now where the glue is put in, I will be sticking that part towards the inner side of that tape roll. So that's how you go. Now friends, while making this thing, color combination is very important in order to make it look attractive. So as you can see, on the inner side I have put a darker shade of blue or a greenish blue, and on the outer place it's light blue. Now to the strings I'm going to attach longer strings. This will be for hanging purpose. So I will first measure how much of the length I require for hanging purpose. Likewise, I will cut 6 strings, that's for my 6 knots, 6 strings of the same length, and then simply I will tie a double knot, or a single knot should be enough, because this is for hanging purpose. We'll be tying a big knot at the end of this hanging string. So like this only you'll have to get your 6 strings ready at the same length. And once we are done with this part, we will go with attaching the strings on the bottom portion. So here I have shell shaped items and I have attached one string on the bottom. I'll show you how this is done. I've taken pearl and these shells that I had as an attachment for my showpiece. Now here what I am doing is, each string will be a little bigger than the other string. So approx you could keep it at 1 finger distance more than the previous string. So I'm going to measure likewise all the strings and approx 1 finger more I am going to cut it off the string at. Now at the end portion I'm going to tie a double knot, and this knot will be to ensure that the pearl which is there at the bottommost portion of this hanging string would not come out easily. That's it. See that the knot is nearing to the end of the string and there's a very tiny bit remaining at the end portion of the string. So here we are done. So finally done. Now here I have already kept approx distance and I am measuring as per that distance how much I need the other string, whatever accessories I am placing, to be at that particular distance what I had on my previous one. So I'm just roughly measuring. It does not need to be exact. You can do this with the help of a scale as well. Just tie a knot and then pass your next accessory. So in my case here I am using a shell. Friends, in case if the string is not stiff enough, you cannot pass your beads, your pearl through it, then just harden it up with the help of glue in this way and let it just be there for a few seconds, and that's it. It will be very stiff and you can pass the other accessories, ornaments that you need to decorate your string with through it. So this is basically how it's going to turn up. The knot will always be on the bottom side of your pearl or your shell. So I'll show you how to attach. We go height wise, first the smallest, then after that a little bigger, then a little bigger. So basically we are going to arrange it in ascending order. Tying the string is very easy. See that you do not use up most of the portion in tying, because you need it to look very beautiful when it's hanging. Again, we tie a double knot. If you need extra assurity that it should not come off, then you can add a little hot glue at the end of the knot so it will hold it in place. So basically this is how our hanging will look. The end result of this is going to be so beautiful. So here I'm done attaching, and this is how it exactly looks. Eye-catching, right? It looks really pretty, and till date whoever has seen this really likes the way it looks. It's very attractive, makes a little bit of noise. In case if you all need a lot of noise, you can add those tiny ghungru like things to make it a little more noisy. So friends, if you all like this useful tip of reusing the tape roll, do let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.